Hello, friends. It is really good to see you guys today. I am Melissa, and I am a grieving mother. And this is Memorial Day weekend, and I wanted to come out here to the cemetery and make a video, basically. There's been a lot going on in our nation this last week. I'm sure everyone's pretty well aware of the elementary school shooting in Texas. And it has sparked a lot of triggers for me, and my husband too. And I also have a close friend, a friend that I consider close, a lady I love dearly, and her son died a week and a half ago, unexpectedly. And he's young, only 27 years old. It's brought a lot of triggers for me as well. I'm so sensitive to this that immediately when I hear anything close to our tragedy and trauma, or someone that I know personally, not just as an acquaintance, but I know personally, I go back to day one right away for me, right away. And I can remember how it feels. And then I somehow put myself in their shoes too, and I guess today, I don't have anything written down to talk about today, friends. I need to apologize again for being so behind on my videos. I'm just in a training period, really. I really am. And my heart is drawn in so many different areas that I am waiting for God to give me clarity. I'm waiting for God to hone it in, narrow the focus in. But, I feel like talking about right now, since I'm at the cemetery, a real raw topic, coffins and open or closed caskets for funerals for our children. That's what I want to talk about today. So, this topic, I don't even know who can listen to something like this unless you have actually done it. And then out of those of us that have done it, I have met and heard of plenty who don't even want to talk about it. I mean, we all handle our grief so differently and so uniquely because the loss is so unique. The loss is our loss. So even though, yes, we are similar in this, it's also very uniquely different. Like being married. Yeah, there's a lot of us who are married, but each marriage is different. Why? Because each person is different. But us grievers, I'm learning in my 4.5 years into heavy, deep grief that I need grievers more than I need non-grievers. I do, and I just feel like I walk into a grocery store and nobody in that grocery store has walked through this. Nobody in there. You just feel so alone in every place that you go to. You do. And so, but open or closed caskets, this what happened in Robb Elementary. And the idea as a mother who has buried 2 of my children, Noah and Sophia. Noah was 7 years old. Sophia was 5. When they were brutally stabbed by their brother. Brutally stabbed. So when I think of Robb Elementary and I think of these small children being brutally shot by weapons that belong only in war, still extremely confused why that's even allowed to have in our homes. But anyways, that's a topic for another day. And so these parents can't have open caskets. As a parent, when we birth our children, we hear their first breath, their first cry. We never imagine ever their last one, their last breath. We don't. And so when it happens, and and you now are in a world that is so foreign. It is only God's grace that we get there. It's only God's grace that we can sit in these funeral homes and pick out fucking coffins. When I had clothes laid out the night before for my children to wear to school the next day. Socks, underwear, shirt, and bottoms. All picked out, ready for them to wear the next day to school. But instead, I'm at a fucking funeral home picking out coffins. Deciding on one coffin because I'm going to bury them together. It angers me that these parents, even now in death, are denied the opportunity to put your head in that coffin one last time and hug your children, hug the body, smell their hair. Noah and Sophia's hair still smelled like theirs. It still smelled like home. Even though, yes, the funeral home, they washed the hair and they fixed the body up, but they're your child, and it's one washing from the cemetery isn't going to remove the home smell out of their hair. I told you this was going to be raw today. This was going to be real raw today, peoples. You know, these are real things that we as mothers who bury our children, they're only Jesus is really he is the only one we have to talk to about this. And I have just been desiring in the flesh to say it out loud to other people too, and talk to other people. You know, as mothers, we get to talk to other mothers pretty much about almost every aspect of raising our children, everything we have. And a lot of times we're still in this big taboo of not talking about the bad things, like when our kids are in trouble and that kind of stuff. So how much more less so in death too, you know, and the details of death. And being able to, the details of their funerals, you know, that's an awful experience in itself too. The funeral, the planning of the funeral, the preparation of the funeral is an awful experience, and it's like we are just re-traumatized. Not only are we in such shock and denial to come upon our dead children's bodies, to know that they're dead, to be told that they're dead, and then we're in these funeral homes picking out coffins. And then we have to go back to our homes and look in their closets and drawers and find an outfit to put on them. I know some people choose to go out and buy a brand new outfit to put on. And some of us choose to put on what they already owned. You know, so it's like that it is an experience. It's like we're just being re-traumatized. Do you understand that? Do you get that? We are being re-traumatized. So yeah. Oh, the sun is in my eyes. It's freaking killing me here. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I ain't got nothing else to say but that, I guess. You know, there is no, well, hey, you know, there ain't nothing else, you know. And I know what these mothers and fathers are going through. My husband and I, we know what these parents are going through in Texas. We know the ultimate shock of, we laid our kids to bed, they went to sleep, and then in the middle of the night, they're being murdered. These parents sent their children to school, and in the middle of the school day, they're being murdered. The whole world is upside down. You can't even hear the birds sing for a while. Food taste, there is no food taste. Everything's bland and dry. It's an awful shock, and it's an awful denial, and it's a weird place to be because you're not in so much denial that you're not signing the papers, that we're not saying yes to certain flowers or coffins or outfits, or who's going to officiate it, or who's going to speak, and so on and so forth, you know. But yet it's a denial, nevertheless, that's there. It is, you know. And 4.5 years later, I'm still in denial. You know, I am. I'm still in denial at times, like this is my new life and that we have to adjust to this, you know, that we got to adjust to life without Sophia and Noah. And Malik too. Adjusting to him in prison for 96 years. Adjusting to evil. Adjusting to there is no answer to what was done. Just like actually there's no answer that's going to satisfy us for the Robb Elementary either. Evil cannot be explained. You can't explain evil. The Bible even tells us to be innocent about evil. You know, that my pastor said it today very well in church this morning. Yeah. I went to church. Yeah, I'm coming there straight from church. But anyways, he said something this morning that's just really sticking with me. In the Christian life, there's no explaining sometimes. A lot of the times. And with evil and trauma and bad things in the Christian life, there's no explaining. I mean, the bad exists with the good. So my faith at its weakest core is just clinging to Christ. Clinging to the promises of Christ and who his character and who he is. Even though in front of my face, my son murdered my 2 children and stabbed his own father in the neck. I mean, Malik was out to murder all of us. I mean, that is awful. That is an awful reality. And sometimes I just want to shout it to the world. But yet I'm also ashamed to shout it to the world. That's not who we raised Malik. That's not even Malik's character. So that still confused me. Like, I'm still trying to sort that out through Malik's character. The fact that he had part of his personality in his heart that desired, that he planned and was able to purchase a military-style knife at the age of 18 and 19. But yet he couldn't even buy alcohol. And then recently, in the last couple of years in our state, they changed it to 21 to buy tobacco. So you can buy firearms and military-style knives and murder children, but you can't buy a cigarette or go have a drink. I mean, it's ass the fucking backwards. Ass the fucking 9 is what it is. Yeah. Well, somebody else just pulled up, guys, and I think they want to visit their grave. That's not very far from ours, so I'm probably going to wrap this up. I got here right after church. I knew it'd probably be busy today. It's Memorial Weekend and all, and people were going to come. But I guess I just felt like expressing all of that and to let you other grieving parents know that you really, truly are not alone. And that these experiences are unnatural for us as mothers. They're unnatural. And I think all we have right now is Jesus. That's all we got. It's just really what we got, guys. We just cling to our faith. Cling to it. It wasn't in vain. Your faith that you were cultivating and nourishing before your child was so rudely, abruptly, cruelly, brutally taken away from you, your faith was not in vain. My faith is not in vain. So, well, you guys, bear with me as I'm getting my channel together. Bear with me as I'm getting into more of a rhythm, kind of changing the direction of my channel a little bit and so on and so forth, and adjusting to this working full-time and getting these videos on. I just really appreciate your patience with me so much. So God bless you and be well today. Take care. I'll see you at my next video.